Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, I'm Jojo Rarity, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about the horror movies I watched during October. And yeah, October was really a fun month for me because I love Halloween. I had a great fun on Halloween also, dressing up as Stranger Things characters. And so I want to talk about the horror movies that I watched during the month of October. The first movie I watched is The Craft Legacy. And I know it's not really that much horror, but the first part, The Craft, is also kind of in that category. So still it's kind of like a horror movie, like a witch movie kind of. And yeah, so it's kind of not a remake, it's kind of like the second part if you say so. So I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like kind of continuation, I guess. That's why it's called The Legacy. And so it's about those 4 witches who get more what they bargained for, and then they need to kind of like lead into their newfound powers, kind of like the first part, to make it so similar. But I feel like this part wasn't so good in the first one because the characters weren't really likable and I didn't really care about it so much. Storyline was also like kind of like they made it like a series, like not much happening and too much drama. I don't know, it's like not really like it didn't feel like a movie. So I really didn't enjoy this one because like the craft was really pretty good and there were like good characters, like especially the goth girl. She was so interesting, the bad one. So this movie wasn't that good. The second movie is called My Best Friend Exorcism, and it's from a book actually. I didn't read the book, but I know the author. I forgot the name, but I saw the movie on Prime, so I want to watch it. And it's in 1988. So it's about these 2 best friends, Abby and Gretchen, who will do anything for each other. And then something happened between them. Then there's a paranormal force clinging to Gretchen, and Abby needs to do anything to save her from that. She goes to an exorcist person who's gonna do like the exorcism because Gretchen was possessed from a demon. And so Abby does everything to get her back before it kills her. So yeah, it's about friendship. It's also like from the 80s, so it's kind of like the vibe. And it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. I kind of really want to read the book because I heard it's also popular. The next movie is a Marvel one, and it's called Werewolf by Night. It's like a short movie kind of, but it's still a movie, not a series. It's like 50 minutes long, I think. So it's like kind of like a short movie. And so it's about a lycanthrope superhero who kind of fights evil. It was kind of the first horror, also like Marvel kind of thing. So like people quite enjoyed it, and me too, of course, because I love horror. So it's kind of brutal. It was kind of in black and white, and yeah, it was pretty good. Also, number 4 is a German horror movie called Old People, and it's on Netflix. And I don't really watch horror movies, like German horror movies, that much. I mean. But this was kind of interesting, so I wanted to give it a try. And so it's about like residents of a retirement home kind of embark on a killing spree. And it was during a violent thunderstorm, and there's like a family living nearby, so they fight for their survival. It was just an okay movie. I didn't care about the characters at all, and so it was also creepy because old people are kind of creepy, right? So yeah, it was an okay movie that you could watch like maybe one time. So the next 2 movies I want to talk about together because I watched Jeepers Creepers Reborn and Jeepers Creepers 3. And I'll talk about the franchise because after 2 it went so bad because I really enjoyed 1 and 2. I really liked 2 the most. 1 was also okay, but I liked the second one with the school bus and everything. It was the best part for me. So I watched both of those movies in a row, Jeepers Creepers Reborn and Jeepers Creepers 3. And those both movies were so bad. I think Jeepers Creepers 3 was more bad than Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And I really liked the franchise before, but I don't know what happened. Because like the 3rd part is like after the first part. And it's like so confusing because like the 3rd part is actually after the first part and the second part is after the 3rd part. That makes sense. If you watch it, you know what I mean. So like, you should watch Jeepers Creepers 1, 3, and then 2. Kind of like in this order. And so, that's why it's kind of so confusing if you watch Jeepers Creepers 3 when you didn't watch Jeepers Creepers 1 for a long time. You won't understand it. It's like continuous right after. And it's like the last day of Jeepers Creepers to kill. Because it only kills like for 23 days, right? Every 23 years. So the Jeepers Creepers 3 is about like the last day of him. That's why like then if you watched Jeepers Creepers 2, it's like also like continuation of 3. That's why it's so confusing, I know. And Reborn is completely different because it's kind of like a remake. And it wasn't all so good. It's like about these two couples, about this couple, Chase and Lane, who head to a Halloween horror festival. And so people know about the creeper. So there's like stands about the creeper, something like that. And then the girl, Lane, kind of gets premonitions, which doesn't make sense at all. I know why she got those. It's like, I don't know, it's like so bad. Even the characters were unlikable for me. And I don't know, also, the creeper kind of looks different in this one, I think. I mean, if you watch the old movies, I was so scared of the creeper because I watched it like in a young age. So I was so scared of his face and how it looks like. I don't know, like for me it's not even scary anymore. So I don't know, it's so bad. I know what happened to that franchise. Like 1 and 2 are always gonna be the good movies for me. You can't spell America without Erica. So the next movie is The Curse of Bridge Hollow. And the actress from Stranger Things who plays Erica is in this movie. That's why I wanted to watch it. I know it's not really horror, but it's still Halloween related, right? And so it's like a fun movie, and we wanted to watch with our mom. And it kind of reminds me of Goosebumps, kinda. It's like this kind of level. And it's about this man and his daughter who must band up together because like in this town there's like a spirit who awakes like Halloween decorations that come to life. So everything that the spirit kind of touches they can turn to life. And so like spooky scarecrows or like zombies or like anything like with Halloween decorations, they come to life and they wreak havoc in this town. So the both of them need to stop it and band together. And it's just a fun movie, and kind of like fun movie just to watch during Halloween. If you're not really into horror that much, you can watch this. So the next movie I watched is Mr. Harrigan's Phone. It's also not really horror, but it's from Stephen King. It's like a short story from his books. It's kind of anthology stories, I think. I haven't read it. And also like Ryan Murphy is included in this movie, so I wanted to watch it, of course. I mean, Stephen King is still the horror guy, like the king of horror, right? So it's kind of more of a drama, but still involves like kind of like ghosts. So it's about this kid, Greg, who befriends like an old man. He always reads for him every 2 weeks, I don't know, like reads for him. So became kind of close, like since he was a young kid and then he grew up. So it's not a spoiler, by the way, but then when Mr. Harrigan dies, his phone is in his pocket in his burial. So Craig was kind of devastated losing him and he didn't call him, I mean he wants to message him still like thank you for everything. And then the crazy thing is, and the scary part is that he gets a reply, kinda, and he's calling from the grave. So it's like from the trailer you know that he's gonna die. It's like that's the storyline. So this is only the creepy part. But as I said, it's not really like that much horror. It's kind of like a drama also about loss, I think. So it's kind of like still like horror and Jason, I think, because like still like about ghosts and stuff like that. The next movie is Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I watched it before, and it was like a late night with nothing to watch, and we were looking for horror movies to watch, and we found this one on Prime, and it's so funny. It's kind of like horror comedy more, and it's about these two friends who kind of like hillbillies, and there's like also about these college kids who are gonna go to this cabin to enjoy their time there. And then they're gonna meet these hillbillies and they think they're murderers. Because the way they look like, it's kind of like judgmental, right? Because they look like these kind of weird guys and talking to them. So they think they're gonna do something to them. So this was like always a misunderstanding because actually they're nice guys ever. And bad circumstance kind of happened to them. And it's like so funny. If you watch it, you know what I mean. So it's like, you can't judge a book by its cover, as to say, because in this story, they're not the evil ones. That's all I'm gonna say. So number 10 movie on my list is From Dusk Till Dawn. And it's one of my favorite movies actually. It's so good. Only the first part, by the way, with George Clooney. And of course, Mr. Quentin Tarantino. So I love this movie. If you love, before I didn't know it's a vampire movie, which is so funny. And because like the movie starts like so normal, right? Like it's about these two brothers who rob a bank, and then they kidnap this preacher with his two kids, and then suddenly there's vampires who burst to life during the night, and there's like they go to Mexico, and in the end everything goes too crazy, and yeah, it's just a crazy movie also if you think about it. But I really enjoyed it. And also, if you don't know, there's a series from Dusk on Netflix, which is also pretty good. And if you like this movie, you will enjoy the series as well. Number 11 movie is We Summon the Darkness. So I watched this movie I think last year, and it's one of the new horror movies that I really like. And that's why I wanted to watch this again. So it's about these three best friends who are going to a heavy metal concert. And so after that, they befriend like three guys, and they go to this cabin which they own and have a party, like an after party after the concert. So then there's a twist because you don't know what's gonna be happening. Like there's like sadistic killers also included. So I don't want to spoil anything, that's why, but it's like really a twist. I didn't see it. I didn't expect it to happen, so that's why I really like the movie. And yeah, so go check it out. Number 12 is The Wounds, and it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's so good. And also after reading the book for the first time, oh my god, I mean the book was also so gruesome, so disgusting, and even more disgusting than the movie, to be honest. But some things I liked in the movie better. Like it's kind of also different how it ends. Oh my god, like the book is much worse than the movie. So that's why I like the movie better this time. Even though the book is of course so good also written, and such a really horror book that it's like you can't still stop to read it because you want to know what happened next. So I just love this movie. It's about these four friends who are in Mexico, I believe, and they want to enjoy their beautiful vacation in this beautiful place. But then they meet a German guy. I mean, because his father got missing, and they kind of got friends, so they want to find his brother from the guy Matthias, the German guy. And so they go on to this place where the ruins lie, and there's nothing normal about these ruins. So they enter the ruins, and then something happens. So crazy things are happening around them, which I don't want to spoil for you guys. But yeah, it's like not for everyone, I think. It's like so disgusting. It's like body gore, so if you don't like this kind of movies, don't watch it because it's not for the faintest of hearts. The next movie is called The Prodigy, and I never heard about this movie, but I want to watch it, and it's actually not that bad. It's not something new. It's like you've kind of seen this stuff before. But yeah, so it's about this family, and that kid became so intelligent in his young age, and kind of after his 8th birthday became like so violent, his behavior, and so erratic. So the parents don't know what's wrong with him, and they're kind of scared of their own child because something sinister lurks inside of him, and it's kind of like he's possessed by something evil, like a killer, kind of like Chucky, if you think about it. Just kidding. So yeah, it's about this kind of story, but I do like the movie. The boy is from Lock and Key. Aloha, boy. So yeah, he's so cute. So yeah, something you can watch if you like this kind of stories about supernatural forces, kind of like a demon inside of you movie, and they need to get rid of it, kind of thing. The next movie on my list is called Freaks. It's kind of about superheroes, and so it's about this girl, Chloe, who lives with her father inside a house, and they're like locked inside because they never go out because the world supposedly is like dangerous outside, but the girl doesn't know anything about it because she was born inside the house. She doesn't know if it's true or not because she's like abnormal. She has kind of like super abilities, and she's like gifted, and the father doesn't want her to go out because they are a threat and people like are after them or something. But of course, as a girl, she's like curious and still wanna go outside. And then she finds out different things that's been happening around them. And so it's like kind of like an indie movie, Kind of reminds me of Firestarter also, because about a girl who has powers. So yeah, something you can watch, I think, if you like superhero movies, but still kind of like horror also theme in this movie. And yeah, it was kind of interesting, something different also, and also some twist I didn't expect. So number 15 on my list is called Grimcutty, and it's on Disney Plus. And so it's not really like that much horror. I thought it was kind of scary and creepy because Grimcutty is an internet meme and his face looks so creepy. But if you know Death Note, I mean the anime, kind of looks like him. I forgot his name, by the way. The monster, right, who comes after you write someone's name, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I thought it looked cool, but it wasn't really that horror. It's more like drama, I believe. And so anyways, about this girl and her brother, and they love social media. I mean, who doesn't at a young age? And so they also search about Grimcutty, and if you like search about Grimcutty, then he comes to you and haunts you kinda. So if you search about his name, and then it comes for you, and then you kinda harm yourself after you see him on the internet. The next movie is Brain Dead, and I've watched it before. It's kind of an old movie, and this movie is crazy. So it's about this man who's kind of obsessed with brains. He's a neurosurgeon, so he studies like brains, like malfunctions, and that kind of causes mental illnesses. So he's kind of obsessed with that, and so he kind of drifts into his own mind also, because he kind of so obsessed with brains, and after he has an accident, he doesn't know what's real or not real. It becomes kind of crazy. After that, everything spirals out of control. So it's kind of like a fever dream if you watch this, because you don't know what's happening, because everything's like so crazy, and you don't know his brain anymore, like if it's real or not real, like I said. So it's actually a good movie. Like, you have to think about a lot. It's not easy to understand. It's kind of complicated because it kind of goes crazy after that. But yeah, it was a good movie. Coming to Get You, Barbara. So which movie I am talking about? It's Night of the Living Dead. It's even a remake of an original classic film back in the, I don't know what year it came out, but this movie is from the 90s. So always, every time I hear Barbara, I always remember this movie, because they always say, I'm coming to get you, Barbara. Which is so funny. Actually, I heard it from Shaun of the Dead, which is one of my favorite zombie movies. Because the mother from Shaun is called Barbara. And I think it's because of that movie. Maybe because of the classic movie. So it's so funny. So anyway, I forgot how good this movie actually was. And so it's about these people who are trapped inside a farmhouse, and they have to fight the living dead, or the walking dead. And you know me by now, I love zombie movies, so this one's also one of my favorites. The next movie is a Blumhouse movie called One Sweetheart One. And you think it's like a normal romantic movie. So after what seems like a dinner date, a single mom finds herself like into something entirely different than she expected. It's kind of like a family movie. It's about women particular, but I really like this movie. I saw something else and so different, and so something is gonna be like haunting her life, and she's the one, that's why the title, needs to run all the way to escape this what's been happening to her. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't say it, because it was a twist also for me after watching this movie. But yeah, it's something I really enjoyed watching. This is something different, as I said, so it's a pretty good one. Number 19 is the last movie on my list, and it's called Nocturne. And wow, this movie is also kind of crazy. It's about these twins and twin girls, and they're both in an elite arts academy. They are both good in playing piano, but one of them outshines the other one, so they kind of got jealous and are like in a competitive drive kinda. So, without spoiling also anything, one of the sisters got better than the other one, and the other one got jealous. Sorry, I forgot the names. And so the one sister does anything. She goes to extreme measures to be better than the other sister, to win. So it's like kind of crazy what's been happening. So as I said, I don't want to say anything else about this movie, but I really enjoyed it and it's a pretty good movie as well. I try to watch many horror movies as possible. I didn't watch that many like last year, because last year I think I watched more movies than now. I tried, but also have other things to do this year. And also I watched a lot of series, which I'm also going to be talking about I think in my next video, because I also watched some horror series more than movies, because sometimes it's hard to find movies like on Netflix or other like platforms sometimes. That's why I watch series instead, which also I can include, right, because it's also still horror related. So I still watched a lot, but not a lot than last year. So this year is kind of different than last year, I think. But every year I think it's gonna be different for sure. So yeah, I hope you still enjoyed this video. If you do, please give a thumbs up. Also comment down below and what horror movies did you watch or what you wanna watch for next year. I don't know, so comment just anything, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to put on the post notifications so you know exactly when I upload. I upload every Wednesdays and Saturdays. See you guys on my next video. Bye.